Alright, so today I want us to talk a little bit about urge surfing, okay? So, when we think about urges, we can kind of think of them as these impulses to act on our old habits. And these old habits can be drinking alcohol or using drugs or whatnot. But these urges can kind of have physical sensations on the body as well. So kind of what our goal is to see where these urges are located, right? So the reason we call this whole thing urge surfing is because our urges in our body, those physical sensations that happen in our body, they look really similar to waves in the ocean. What I mean by that is they'll start slow, they'll slowly build, they'll eventually peak, but they always crash. What I mean by that is urges won't ever last forever. They'll always come in waves, kind of like a wave in the ocean, right? So in order for us to begin, I kind of wanted us to spend some time to get extra comfortable in our chairs, feet flat on the ground, and kind of relax a little bit, have our arms by our sides, just comfortable. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you're welcome to. If not, that's okay too. Just wanted us to take a moment, kind of sit for a second, relax. And I wanted us to really bring our attention into our breathing. What I mean by that is focusing on a specific part of your breathing. If you want to bring your attention to the feeling of your lungs filling up with air, you can focus on your nose and focus on the air going through your nose. Some people focus on their stomach. And I want us to focus on this breathing for a full cycle. A full cycle being the start, inhaling all the way, reaching the very top of what your lungs can take in, and a gentle exhale. That's one cycle of breathing. Take a minute to relax and to focus on your breathing. So when we get comfortable and we focus on our breathing, I want us to take a minute to focus about those bodily sensations of those urges. Take a minute to scan through your body, see where those urges are located in your body physically. Some people have sensations in their stomach and their stomach will tingle. Other people will have like a tightness in their chest. Others will have their mouth will water because they'll want to drink alcohol. Let's take a minute. There's no right or wrong place for an urge to occur. Let's take a minute to try to identify where in your body these urges are located. So once we've found where these urges are located, I want you to take some time to non-judgmentally and silently describe that feeling to yourself. Does it feel like it's tingling? Is it like a coolness? Maybe there's a hot sensation. Maybe your mouth's watering. Wherever that's located, just take a moment. Describe that feeling and sit with that feeling for a second. Remember to take some deep breaths. So now that we've identified where this urge is, we've described it to ourselves, I want us to shift our attention more towards our breathing now. Let's bring our attention all the way back to our breathing. Focus on whether that was your lungs or focusing on how the air feels going through your nose, or maybe your abdomen. So the goal of this process is to take and find where those urges are located and use our breathing as a tool to get through the urge themselves. So the reason they call it urge surfing is because we think, like in the beginning, we think of our urges as these big waves that are forming. So no matter how big or scary those waves are going to get, as long as we use our breath as our surfboard, we can coast through and ride through these urges until they crash, and you can ride skillfully through it without getting swallowed by your urge, or drinking, or using drugs and giving up your urge. So we kind of think of our urges as these impulses that we're curious about, kind of have an open mind about them rather than doing battle with them. So I kind of think of it as more dancing with your urge rather than wrestling with it. Take another minute or so to breathe through. Whenever you feel comfortable, you can slowly bring your awareness back into the room. And hopefully, if you've ridden your surfboard skillfully enough, that urge has passed. This might seem difficult at first. Your mind might wander. That's okay. Just gently bring your attention back towards your breathing or towards the urge in your body. And like all urges, they will eventually pass. That's good.